Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm back on the topic of the MLB. The MLB has just come out with their second edition of Power Rankings. So today I'm going to be looking at those and kind of reacting to them because I do think there are several instances of teams in the top 10 that might not belong might not belong where they are. And I think there's even more cases of teams not included on this list that I think should be. So that's what I'm going to be doing today, talking about the most recent MLB Power Rankings list. That leads me into the question of the day for you guys, and that is, of all the teams in the league, which team for you is the top team not included on this list that you think should be? Again, which team do you think should be on this list that was not included by the MLB? Comment below, and throughout the video or at the end of the video, I'll go over which teams I think should be on this list that are not. So let's get right into the video. I want to start, I guess, kind of answer the question of the day right now. Start with teams that I think should be on this list that aren't. Actually, first I'm going to talk about two teams that I think are interesting that are not on this list that I think is the right decision. First off, the New York Yankees. The last MLB Power Rankings prior to this one, they were number 3 on the list. Now they have secured the worst record in the American League for the first time in like 50-something years. So the Yankees are off the list, and I think that is true. It's just ironic they dropped from number 3 in the league, which I think was a fitting spot. The roster of the New York Yankees is really as good as it gets outside of the Dodgers, maybe the Padres. But this team is obviously not winning baseball games. They're hitting pretty poorly as a team right now. I do believe that every single game so far this year, they've trailed in the 9th inning. Trailed in the 8th and 9th inning, they've lost. I think in the 9th inning right now, they're hitting like sub 100, no RBI, something like that. So this Yankees team is not scoring well late in games. So they're not on this list, and I think that's the right decision. The next team that I think, interesting enough, is not on this list is the Toronto Blue Jays. I think they were number 5 or 6 on the preseason list, or the first list, which I think was right before the first week of the season. They are not on this list. I think that's okay. The Blue Jays, George Springer's hurt. Simeon hasn't really taken off yet. Vladdy and Bichette still starting off kind of slow. Just offensively in general, the Blue Jays team is just not performing to the extent that we think that they can. And then the pitching staff is, again, doing the same thing. So Blue Jays have not been included on this list, but they were on the last one, and I think that's the right move. But, again, for teams that I do think should be on this team that are not, starting with the Seattle Mariners, did not make the cut. I think that's ridiculous. Right now they're 11-6. The best record in the American League, tied with the Boston Red Sox, which you'll find out later are ranked very highly on this list. So the same record as the Red Sox, tied for first in the AL, not included on this list. I think that's insane. That team is just playing such good defense, hitting the ball so well. Kyle Lewis, last season's AL Rookie of the Year, having a good season so far. Vogelback, whatever. This Mariners team is hitting the ball really well and even playing even better defense last night. They beat the Dodgers 4-3 in a game where their defense was lights out. So the Mariners, not on this list, but right now sitting at tied for the best record in the AL, should be on this list 100%. Another team, the Angels. Right now they're 8-6. They are, I believe, second in their division right now. But they're just coming off of a 3 out of 4 game win over the White Sox, which is evidently going to be number 10 on this Power Rankings list. The White Sox have landed the 10th spot. The Angels just beat them 3 out of 4 games in a series. The Angels are 8-6. The Angels are obviously, they have Mike Trout. They got Rendon, one of the best third basemen in the league. They got Ohtani, who's back and healthy and pitching and hitting the ball very well. The Angels should be on this list, no doubt. Another team that I want to bring up, the Marlins. Right now the Marlins are 8-9. I don't necessarily think they should be on this list per se, but they certainly have been making a case. One guy that stands out for them, Jazz Chisholm, a young guy that's developing really well, hitting the ball really well. Starling Marte is having a great year, but he is going to be out for a little bit. He's got a fractured rib. So the Marlins are another team that I think maybe be in the conversation. And the San Francisco Giants right now are second in the NL West, ahead of the Padres, where the Padres are ranked very high on this list. Giants 10-6. Why are they not on this list? I have no idea, but I do think the Giants should definitely find a way, or should definitely have found a way to squeeze into this list. I think it's ridiculous that they're not. But to get to the list, the number 10 team, Chicago White Sox, right now they are sitting at 8-9. Their pitching staff's throwing the ball pretty well. Of course, Lance Lynn, Lucas Giolito, Dallas Keuchel, Dylan Cease, Carlos Rodon. Carlos Rodon just threw a no-hitter the other day. Was one hit batter in the 9th inning away from a perfect game. So the pitching staff is really doing all the work they need to. but they're hitting 243 as a team right now. Not great. Robert Jimenez, we're definitely not seeing a Jose Abreu like we did last year. So just this team is hitting the ball not very well right now, just kind of average. So I think the number 10 spot should go to someone like the Angels, like the Marlins maybe. I would say that the Mariners and Giants should be ranked higher than 10 on this spot, so I wouldn't even give them that spot. I would say Mariners and Giants should jump farther up this list, and maybe the Angels or the Marlins should slide into this 10 spot. And another team that I left out earlier, talking about teams that could be on this list, the Kansas City Royals are right now 9-6. Salvador Perez having a really good year. Benintendi's making a difference on that team. So that's another team that I think could slide into this 10 spot is the Kansas City Royals. But for the time being, I think the Chicago White Sox should be bumped off of this list. Number 9, I think a spot that fits this team very well, the Tampa Bay Rays. I wouldn't be opposed to maybe the Rays dropping to 10 and a team like the Royals or the Angels Royals or Angels maybe jumping to that 9 spot, because I do think the Rays still deserve to be a top 10 team right now, but there's other teams that I think could deserve the 9 spot maybe and then drop the Rays back. But right now the Rays are at 9-8, second in the AL East to the Red Sox. The Rays right now, my issue with them for this year was going to be pitching staff. They lost Charlie Morton. They lost Blake Snell. But right now, Tyler Glasnow is 100% filling as much of that gap as he possibly can. Ryan Yarbrough also having a pretty good year on the mound. But Glasnow's pulling a lot of that slack. And at the plate, Austin Meadows having a good year. Joey Wendell hitting several home runs, which is not like him. Randy Arozarena hitting a couple home runs, doing pretty well. Brennan Lau. Kiermaier is a question for me. I'm not sure what kind of season he's having, but for the most part, the Rays are doing better than I expected. But I think 10 spot would be right for the Rays. Drop them back a spot and maybe slide the Angels in at 9. That would be probably what I would like to see on this list. Coming in at number 8, the New York Mets. New York Mets have the best pitcher in baseball in Jacob deGrom. Right now, his 2021 ERA is 0.45, but he is 1-1. That just goes to show that, throughout DeGrom's career, I think he's got like a 2.4 career ERA, but his record overall is under 500. The Mets bullpen sucks. It's not good. It does not help DeGrom at all, and I wish that wasn't true because I like DeGrom a lot. But for that reason, the Mets, I think 8 fits them pretty well because they got the best pitcher in the league. They got a handful of the best defensive players in the league, including Francisco Lindor, but they just don't have the bullpen right now to be any higher than 8. They're not winning enough games, so I think the 8 spot is right for them because as soon as this lineup really starts to click, right now Lindor's hitting 189. He's absolutely not playing to the potential that he could be. So as soon as this Mets lineup clicks and this whole team clicks, the bullpen actually gets better. This Mets team could jump up on this list. But right now, the Mets are 7-4. Of course, they lost a couple early games to COVID protocol, so they've only played 11 games. I think 7-4 right now. The way they're playing baseball, I think the 8 spot is right for this Mets team. Number 7, the Atlanta Braves started off 0-4. They lost 4 games. They lost 3 games to the Phillies, and then they dropped to 4th to the Nationals. Started off slow. Right now they're only 7-9. So you can make an argument that they don't belong in the 7th spot, that they belong farther down the list than that. That's tough for me to say. I like the 7th spot for the Braves because the roster is hard to deny. The talent on it. The pitching staff I like in Max Fried, Ian Anderson, Mike Soroka. Of course, the lineup. Freddie Freeman's picking up, swinging the bat pretty well right now. Acuna hitting .419 with 7 home runs is arguably the best player in the game right now. Ozzie Albies starting off kind of slow, but he's had his share of big hits. So the Braves right now are a tough team for me because I like the Braves a lot, and if you've watched any of my other previous baseball videos, I have super high hopes for the Braves. I have them as an a super strong NLCS contender or winning the NL contender. So it's tough for me to say that they should drop down this list, but the fact that they started off so slow, 7-9, I don't know. I'm torn with the Braves, but I want to say with the teams left on this list, I think the 7th spot's right for the Braves because when you look at other teams like the Mariners and the Giants, I think that those teams would belong even higher on the list in the 7th spot. So there's really nobody to push the Braves out of the 7. So I think the 7th spot's right for the Braves, even though they're not really playing to a super high level right now. They're still the Braves. They still have that roster. They still got Freeman and Acuna. They have all those guys. Pitching staff is definitely one of the top in the NL if it starts operating at its full potential. So I'm going to say the 7th spot is right for the Braves. Number 6, Minnesota Twins. This is definitely a team that I have not belong at the 6th spot. Should drop down lower and maybe send, say, the Mariners to the 6th spot. The Mariners, while they have the best record in the AL, tied for it, I don't think they belong really in the top 5 yet. It's early in the season. You can't base a whole lot off what's going right now. But for this current power rankings, I would say maybe send the Seattle Mariners to the 6th spot. They've done a lot of good stuff, but I don't think they belong in the top 5. But why do I have a problem with the Twins? First of all, they're 6-8. That's not great. Their pitching staff: Kenta Maeda, Barrios, Pineda, J.A. Happ. Not sold on it, really. I don't think I've watched clips of Maeda this year. I'm not sold on it completely. Their lineup. You got 3 big guys: Nelson Cruz, Miguel Sano, and Josh Donaldson. 3 guys that can hit a lot of home runs. Nelson Cruz is 40. Miguel Sano is kind of a hit or miss guy with a home run, and Josh Donaldson. I like Josh Donaldson a lot, but he's statistically or historically not going to be a 300 hitter. He's going to probably hit 260 with 25, 30, 35 home runs, whatever he's going to be. Josh Donaldson and Nelson Cruz and Miguel Sano really the anchors of this Twins offense, and there's not a lot outside of that. Pitching staff I'm not sold on. They're 6-8. I'm not sure what MLB sees in them other than the fact they can hit the long ball. They can hit a home run. They can hit 2-3 home runs a game. I just don't like the Twins at the 6th spot. They should drop out. They should not drop out of the top 10. Maybe they should drop to the 9 spot, which would mess up a couple things that I said earlier with maybe throwing the Angels in there. But there's a lot of speculation that goes into that. But I would say the Twins belong 9 and 10 spot right now. They're not a number 6 team in the league, and that's just the way I see it 100%. Now we're entering the top 5. Of course, all these initial rankings I'm giving are what MLB has. So now we're entering MLB's top 5, and then I'm giving my opinion after that. So again, to recap what we've got. MLB's got the White Sox at 10, Rays at 9, Mets at 8, Braves at 7, and the Twins at 6. Now entering the top 5. Milwaukee Brewers at number 5. They're 9 and 7. I think the main reason that they're ranked here right now is Corbin Burnes. He's absolutely mowing down teams. Got a .49 ERA, 30 strikeouts on the year. Nobody's hitting Corbin Burnes. He's actually pitching today against the Padres. So that's the main reason. And this Brewers defense is very good. They pick up Jackie Bradley Jr. from the Red Sox. He's playing great defense. They got Lorenzo Cain holding it down in the outfield as well. They just had a big win over the Padres yesterday. They won 3-1. So this Brewers team is playing good baseball. Unfortunately, Christian Yelich is out right now with a back injury, so you could easily say when he comes back, this team will get better. But based off of last year, Christian Yelich is not at the top of his game right now. Still battling a back injury, like I said. So who knows what Yelich is? But right now, I like the Brewers at 5. They're just kind of a dark horse team that came out of nowhere. Pitching staff's on fire right now, led by Corbin Burnes, and they're swinging the bat pretty well. So I like the Brewers at 5, to be honest. I think they maybe could drop a few spots. I think maybe the Mariners or Giants could make an argument for the 5 spot. But I like the Brewers at 5. Number 4, another complete surprise that was far outside of the top 10 in the initial power rankings. MLB's got the Cincinnati Reds at number 4. Right now, they are winning the NL Central at 9 and 6. That's one of the main reasons they're here. They're playing good baseball. They're winning their division. Joey Votto, he's getting old, but he is swinging the bat so well right now. Got a handful of home runs the last couple days. Getting in on the home run action, you got Aquino and Suarez, of course, good for some home runs. Tyler Naquin's been swinging the bat pretty well over the last 2 weeks, which is good to see for him. And then Nicholas Castellanos, he's definitely, not so much in the past week, but the week prior to last, it seems like Castellanos was homering every single game. So they're swinging the bat well. And then their pitching staff, led by Sonny Gray and Luis Castillo, pretty good. So I think for the time being, the fact they're winning their division, they're 9 and 6. The Reds are hot, so I like them at the 4 spot. Entering the top 3 teams, I do have an issue. The top 3 teams that MLB's got go Red Sox at 3, Padres at 2, and of course the Dodgers at number 1. The Dodgers 13 and 4, best team in baseball, no doubt they're the number 1 team, and there's no disputing that. Mookie Betts swinging the bat, playing great defense. I think Bellinger actually's got a fracture in his leg, so he's out right now. Corey Seager's doing well, Justin Turner's doing well, that whole team, and their pitching staff. Bauer is I think 2nd or 3rd in the league in strikeouts. Walker Buehler's throwing the ball well, so the Dodgers are locked in number 1. So really my issue is here the Red Sox and the Padres at number 2. Red Sox at 3, Padres at 2. The Red Sox, I think, belong in the 2 spot. I think they could be higher and should be higher at the time being. They're tied for the best record in the AL with the Mariners at 11 and 6. They're winning their division, the AL East right now. The Rays are 2nd, the Red Sox are 1st. JD Martinez hitting the ball better than he really ever has in his career. I think they should jump the Padres here. Alex Verdugo playing good baseball in the outfield. But the Red Sox started 0-3. They proceeded then to go on an 8-game win streak, if I'm not mistaken. That just, for the purpose of this power rankings list, that is the current power rankings, the Red Sox should be number 2. They're just playing such good baseball. The Padres are 10-8, and they're second in their division. Hard to justify how they are number 2 on this list. Like I said, I think the Giants right now should be a top 10 team just because they're ahead of the Padres, who are our number 2 team in the division. The Giants are 10-6, like I said, so they can slide into the top 5. But realistically, I would say that the Padres still belong at 3 or 4, but they don't belong above the Red Sox right now. I think the Padres, like I said, at 10-8, their pitching staff is undoubtedly very good. Joe Musgrove just threw the first franchise no-hitter for the Padres, and then turned around and 2 starts later put his career high with 13 strikeouts. So Joe Musgrove's on fire. Tatis was hurt for a little bit, but he's back. He hit a home run in his first game back against the Dodgers, but now he's got, 7 errors through 6 games. Tatis not playing great baseball. I just think that the Padres, after losing the series to the Dodgers, even though the Dodgers are the best team in the league, they did lose that series. I think they should drop from number 2. I think the Red Sox should slide into number 2, leaving the Dodgers at 1. But those, I know I don't really have a clear list of what my exact power rankings can be, but it is clear to see that I do have a lot of disagreements with what MLB has. But to recap it all, starting at number 10, the MLB has the White Sox, the Rays, the Mets, the Braves, the Twins, and then their top 5 goes Brewers, Reds, Red Sox, Padres, Dodgers. And I do think the Red Sox should jump the Padres. I think that the Twins should drop to maybe 9 or 10. I think the Braves and the Mets are in the right spot. And I think that the Angels, Mariners, and the Giants should definitely be included on this list. Those are my final opinions. And as far as the question of the day, which I asked you guys, what's your number 1 team that should be on this list that wasn't, mine would be the Seattle Mariners. They're tied for best team in the best record in the AL. They're playing great baseball. How could you not have them on this list? But there you have it for reacting to MLB Power Rankings. I think there's a lot of mistakes made with this list. Guys, thanks for watching. 2-minute warning.